Hi Taurus, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot. My name is Carol, and Taurus, this is going to be a general reading for you for November 2024. And in today's reading, we're going to be doing the Yellow Cardinal Cross. And so it is actually one of my readings that I'm offering to you for personal readings. I have about 6 or 7 of them. And if you're interested in a personal reading from me, there will be a link in the comment section also and in my description box below. And so we're going to get started with the reading. I'm going to be using today the Tarot Grand Luxe, and I'm also be using the Tarot Vintage for clarification. So we're going to get started. I'm going to pull some cards right here and then clarify them. So I'm going to start off with the middle 2 cards. And so I'm going to look at an issue that you're sitting in with right now. It could be a problem, a decision you have to make. Sometimes it could be a pattern that's coming up, and you've definitely seen it before. And then I'll pull another card on top of that, and that's going to be a card that's going to clarify it. And sometimes it could be something that's kind of obscuring the first card that I pulled out. So we'll determine that when those 2 come out. And then in the third spot, I want to look at the conscious influence. So what are you consciously aware of that is having influence on this situation that you're sitting with? And then in the fourth position, I'm going to look at the unconscious influence, and that's going to be something that's coming up from your shadow. It's going to be something that's sitting in your unconscious that you're not aware of. And so we're going to be doing a little bit of shadow work in part 4. And if you're unfamiliar with those 2 terms, shadow or shadow work, I've left a really good video for you in my description box below called My Powerful 4-Step Guide to Shadow Work. And that video comes from my other channel called Carol Cares. And Carol Cares is another channel that I do about a lot of videos to help you out with your healing journey, with your mental health struggles. And so you'll see that at the end of this video, I will also connect you to a couple videos that will be really helpful for you, what's coming up in this reading for you this month. And then in the 5th position at the top, it's going to be what's needed for resolution for the situation you're sitting in. And then finally, I'm going to ask the tarot for some guidance as to how you can start to heal this, right? We have to remember this is a healing journey. It's a process. It's not going to happen like this. There's nothing magical that I'm going to give you right here, but it's going to help you with the situation. I'm going to give you the beginning, the tarot will give you some guidance as to how you can begin to heal this, and I'll do the same, and I'll provide some videos for you. If you're not aware, I'm on my own intensive healing journey. I've been on my own intensive healing journey for about 7.5 years now. Shadow work journey, just to heal my own complex trauma that I was not aware I had. So that just tells you how much stuff that we can repress in our unconscious, and we're not aware of it, right? So I hope that you find this channel healing for you. This is exactly what I want it to be, as a healing channel. All right, so let's get started right now. I think I've said everything I want to say. Yeah, so we're going to ask for the first 2 cards right here. So if I can have 2 cards right here. First one for the issue. The issue that Taurus is dealing with, the problem. And you got the 8 of Coins, which is the 8 of Pentacles in the middle. And let's have another clarifier here, something that's obscuring this issue. Well, those 2 cards came out nicely. You have the 2 of Coins, which is the 2 of Pentacles right here. And then your conscious influence over here. What are you aware of? What are you aware of about this situation? The Temperance in reverse. And then the unconscious influence over here. So this is your shadow, what you're not aware of. It's sitting in your unconscious for healing. And it's the Hermit in reverse. Okay, so this is what's going to come up for healing here. I thought I saw this big bird outside and it got my attention there. This is what's going to be coming up for healing for you. And at the top, we're going to ask for what's needed for resolution. What's needed for resolution for Taurus? What's needed for resolution? Okay, so you got two cards here. You have the Queen of Wands and the Lover's card in reverse. I can see where that's going already. And then the guidance from the tarot at the bottom. I'm hoping that you can see these cards on my camera, so I'm going to lower them a bit. All right, so it's always the tops you can't see. All right, so guidance from the tarot, please. What guidance does the tarot have for Taurus regarding this situation? The Eight of Cups and the Two of Swords in reverse. Okay, so I'm just going to go and I'm going to pull just one or two clarifiers. Now, all of these cards have been shuffled beforehand. Yeah, my shuffling is I put them on the table and I just do this, and it's just perfect shuffling for me. Everything goes into the place it's supposed to go. Okay, so let's have some clarifiers for these two cards right here. I'll just ask for one or two cards to clarify these two cards right here. There's one there, and we got two. Okay, so we have the Five of Swords and the Star card. Can I have some clarifiers here for the conscious influence? The conscious influence, the Temperance. What else do you want to say about this Temperance? Three of Swords in reverse. One more, I think, for Temperance. See if it wants one more to come out. All right. Three of Cups in reverse. And unconsciously, what's the influence on here? So what's coming up from your shadow, actually? And I'm going to ask for clarification for the Hermit. Two cards that came out right here. So you got the Four of Wands. Well, I say again because I'm going to talk about it in a minute. You do have it over here, but it's your overriding energy, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And then you have the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. And at the top, some clarifiers for the Queen of Wands and the Lovers in reverse. Okay. So you got the Seven of Wands in reverse. And you got the Six of Pentacles in reverse. And at the bottom, can we clarify this Seven of Cups and the Two of Swords, please? A couple cards. One more. And then we can start. Think that one flipped, or maybe not. Nope, flip back. Okay. One more. That one flipped. Yes. Okay, so you got the Five of Wands and the King of Pentacles. All right, so let's talk about the Four Wands that I have over here. And this card, it's the Four of Wands. It's your overriding energy for the month of November. And back in January 2024, I did a yearly reading for you. And if you're interested in that still, that is in my description box below. And at that time, I pulled one card out for each month for you. And I'll probably do it again in December of this year for next year. And you got the Four of Wands for November. So what's the Four of Wands? The Four of Wands is what we call our celebration card. And it really is the Wands talks about taking your life into the direction that you want to go to. Oftentimes it's something like maybe the lifestyle that you want to live and what you want to do and what interests you. And we'll get, little nudges sometimes during this journey of things that we want to do. We become interested. Of course, a lot of our blocks will come in, especially if we are, you're on this healing channel. So oftentimes, even if you're not even, if you think you're someone that doesn't have a lot of things to heal or a lot of trauma to heal, or you're going to get blocks along the way when you decide to do something for yourself, do something creative. And so this card comes out in November for you, and it's like, this is the card where you're finally going to be stepping out. And I don't know what that means in your life. That could mean anything. But it's finally like you're putting yourself first. You're doing something that you want to do. And it oftentimes, and because it's a celebration card, for me, I look at it as a celebration of, look how far you've come. You're not the same person you were 5 months ago. You're not the same person you were like 5 years ago. And if I can take this, my own tarot journey as an example, and I go back when I first started this, which then was, we're getting to almost a year ago, like I said. I look at my readings from then, and then I compare them to now, and I just go, wow. Like every month that I'm putting these out, I'm getting a little bit more knowledge, introspection of what these cards mean for me. And I know that's going to be growing throughout the years still. And so this is like a card that says, take a second here and say, look how far you've come. Because oftentimes in this journey, oftentimes we'll think, I'm getting nowhere. Just getting nowhere. I want to quit. There's, and just remember, that's our ego that's stepping in and saying, you're getting nowhere. And it's not true. And for me, I journal about that all the time. Like, I'm getting nowhere. I want to quit. And one of my major tools throughout my own journey is journaling. And so I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to be talking about that a lot more in my readings coming up, because I've talked about grounding a lot, which I will definitely talk about a lot, but still. But I'm going to really give you some writing prompts along the way. And I'm going to start to talk to you about journaling and really enforce that, because that has been my lifesaver without a doubt. And I mean that literally when I'm feeling like I've had enough and I'm done and I'm over and, I'm done with my life. And I just journal from that. So, yeah, we're going to get going into your reading now. I don't know why. Sometimes I go off on little tangents here, but I think sometimes it has to do with what's going on. So I want you to this month, and we'll refer back to that in this reading of, look at how far you've come. And so let's start off with what situation you're dealing with right now with this, with these two cards here. And you start off with the Eight of Coins, and then you have the Two of Coins behind it. And so the Eight of Pentacles, the Eight of Coins, is this individual here, really engrossed in his work, really, really, passionate about what he does. And so the Eight of Coins talks about you, you doing something that you're very passionate about and that you like to do. And that's very important because, I can't tell you the number of people, myself included, where, you're in a job that you do for like so many years. And oftentimes it's because maybe it's the one that gives you the money, or it's the one that's, you've just kind of become that person for whatever reason. If you've inherited it through your family, it's just that's the job you've always done. But yet, it's like, here's this, maybe it's something that you're becoming interested in, but you're thinking, well, maybe maybe there's a job out there that I really want to do, and you're kind of thinking about doing that, right? Or you're in that kind of job where you're very passionate about. And then you have, so that's the first issue. And because it's an issue, a problem here, I'm wondering if it is something that has to do with, you're wondering if is this what I'm really supposed to be doing? Is this the job that's really meant for me? I think of myself as a tarot reader, and that's what I would have loved to do, but I wasn't even thinking about it years ago, right? So, maybe it's time to think, what is it? What is your passion in life? What do you want to do? So maybe that's starting to come up for you, and you're starting to wonder about that, because you have the Two of Coins right behind it, the Two of Pentacles here. And the Two of Pentacles speaks about, this individual that's on this high wire here, and he's holding these pentacles. He's trying to balance them, right? And it's like you're trying to balance your situation here, but you're doing a lot of multitasking. I see you're kind of ungrounded. And so when we come to any sort of decision like this, if we're thinking about, what is it I want to do? I'm not really sure. And maybe, and like I said, maybe you have an idea of what you want to do. And so you really have to go about this in a grounded way. And what does that mean to get yourself grounded? I know that's probably going to come up here in your reading here. And so it's like, all right, here's this decision you're trying to make, but you're ungrounded right now. Could be you're multitasking, you're busy, you're distracted by a lot of other things going on. And oftentimes we'll get this urge to, I want to do something. I think I want to do this. And then we get all caught up in doing something else, and we kind of put it away, right? And then you have this, the Five of Swords card comes out, and I often call this card the bullying card. And this individual, the friend, has won over these swords, and he's got this grimace on his face, and you can see the jagged clouds in the background. And then I see this individual way at the back here with his head down, and he's the victim. He's the one that got beaten. He's the one that he's missing his sword here. And he's the one that has his head down. And so this to me is a card of shame. And so I'm wondering here if there's a part of you that that really doubts their ability to do this, to go out and follow their dream, or do what you want to do what you think you were meant to do. And, and that's where we carry this shame, because the swords are our mental energy. Swords are all about those thoughts that we hear. And so you can be hearing in your mind, like, well, who do you think you are? Like, why would you do something like this? Or this is a stupid idea. And that's the stuff that we would have heard from our caregivers growing up. People around us when we thought we wanted to do something, and we were discouraged from doing that. And so here there's a lot of doubts in your head, and that could be reason maybe why you're keeping distracted, because you don't want to hear these doubts, and you're kind of going, well, this is never going to happen. I'm never going to do this, and this job that I want to do. And it's interesting because the Four of Wands celebration card is this month of stepping out and doing. Finally taking that step out for yourself. So it's interesting that this is coming up right here. It makes a lot of sense right now. And then you get the Star card. And so there's some real healing that's needed around this whole idea of you wanting to step out and wanting to do what you want to do, because you can do it. You really can. But you've got some shame here that's making you doubt yourself. And so, yeah, that's what's going on for you right now. So let's take a real deep dive into what's going on. We're going to find out where the shame's coming from, where these doubts are coming from. And so let's go into your conscious influence right here. So this is over on this side over here. I have to get this right here. I always have that little cheat sheet. I'll have this memorized by the end of it, but then at the beginning I'm like, okay, what's on what side again? All right, so for your conscious influence, what you're aware of, well, Temperance card comes in here, and it's in reverse. So in an upright position, Temperance card means, this talks about, this is a journey. This is a process. This takes time. And even the whole thought of you know, wanting to step out and do what you want to do and take this, you know, take this step for yourself, this celebratory step that you're meant to take here. This is a process. This is not going to come like this, because obviously we're finding here that there's a little bit of healing that needs to be done. And this is how this journey works. Whenever you're ready to do something for yourself, something that's very creative, you know, something, and when I mean creative, I mean something that's for you. That's something that's different, something that people are going to look at and go, where are they doing that, you know? And but this is in reverse here, and so I think maybe you're a little bit impatient. I think you're thinking, you know, this should be done like now, or you know, this should have happened already. And again, that's our ego talking to us, going, you know, this should be done by now. This is, you know, and so, but this takes time. This is a journey, and because right behind this we have the three of swords, and it's in reverse here. And so there's definitely here, you're definitely aware of some sort of pain that's coming up in your system, and but you're avoiding it here. You're not wanting to look at it, and that's what you're consciously aware of. And that makes a lot of sense why you're keeping distracted here, because if we're like, if you know, think of yourself where you're ready to do this, you get all excited about it, and then you get this yucky feeling inside of you. And it just kind of pulls you right back down, and you're like, where is this coming from? Why do I feel like this? Every time I get excited about this, I just get this shitty feeling inside. Where does it come from? And then you get these Three of Cups coming in here. This is the card of the feminine energy. These 3 cups that are coming in here. And this is the celebration of our feminine side. And what the hell do I mean by that? Well, we all have, and you're going to hear it. If you're following on this channel, you're going to hear it a million times, that we all have a feminine side and we have a masculine side, and it has nothing to do with our gender. Our feminine side talks about our emotions and our wishes and our desires, right? And so this is coming in as this celebration of our feminine side, saying, you know, have you forgotten about these emotions? Because it's in reverse here, because there is a real resistance on your part to going inwards and, you know, getting in touch with that feminine side of you, which are your emotions. And that's why you're sitting in this pain. And I know there's a lot of fear to going inwards here, but we've already established right here in the middle that you have some shame around this, you know, and shame is shitty. It's one of the shittiest feelings that, you know, that sits inside of us, and we all have shame. It's not something that's given to us. It's not something that we're born with. It's something that's given to us. People hand it down to us because they have it, right? It's something that's transferred to us. It's not something we're born with. And so, yeah. And so what's coming up here for healing for you? And I think that's what's most important, because I think we've established that there is some healing that needs to be done. And so you have the Hermit card here. And so the Hermit card speaks of an individual that has decided to go inwards, and kind of decide that, you know, I'm going to put myself first, and I'm going to take some time for myself, because I want to start to get I want to get in contact with, or I want to connect with what this yucky feeling is inside of me. What are these emotions that are coming up for me? And so the Hermit card is sitting here, right here in reverse, because it's blocked. And so I see here that there is some real resistance on your part to getting in touch with what this yucky feeling is, that needs healing here, that you're sitting here with pain, you know. And remember that the pain is it's the 3 swords, and swords is in our head, and so we're up in our heads and we're feeling this terrible pain, and we stay up here. But the Hermit says, no, it's time to go into our body, right? It's time to start to feel these feelings. because that's where, here's the Four of Wands, that's where you're going to find your freedom. That's where you're going to find your freedom from this pain that you're up in your head with. Here it is right here. Here's the celebration card. Here's the walking away, and it's beautiful that was your overall energy here. And to find that freedom from this pain, you've got to go inwards, and you've got to start to feel some of that shitty shame that you're sitting with. And then there's your Eight of Pentacles in reverse, and that's very interesting because this is your shadow. And oftentimes we are petrified as the human race to go into our shadow, to go into our unconscious, where that is our real self. That's having the biggest impact on who we are, is what's sitting in our unconscious, the things we don't know that we've pushed away. And they're not just emotions and memories that are sitting there, but there's also this Eight of Pentacles. This is what you were meant to do. The Eight of Pentacles is that passion that you were, that passionate job, that thing that you were supposed to do in life is sitting here, and it's blocked right here for you. And that says, well, once you start to go inwards and start to feel, you're going to find that freedom, and you're going to be able to discover, maybe you don't even know what this is you want to do that we talked about at the beginning, but you're feeling it. And that's your intuition. You have this gut feeling. It's been kind of sitting there for a long time, and it's gnawing at you. It'll come and it'll go, and it'll come and it'll go. And that's what intuition is. It's very quiet. It sits in your gut. And it's like this inner knowing, this inner direction that says, this is what I want to do. And here it is sitting here right in your shadow. And it's beautiful because once you start clearing away a lot of this stuff, you end up finding something that you want to do. That's why I'm sitting here reading tarot to you. Not lying. This is exactly why I'm sitting here reading tarot to you. It's not something I ever would have imagined that I was meant to do. So, in the top position, what's needed for resolution here? Well, you have the Queen of Wands, no surprise, and then you have, it's clarified by the Lovers card in reverse here. So, the Queen of Wands is the feminine side to us. And like I said earlier, we have a feminine side and we have a masculine side. And the Queen of Wands is the Queen of the Wand. So she is the Queen is the one that is very much in touch with her emotions. She lives from her body, and she knows her direction. She knows her purpose, her creative direction. And here she is right here. And the wand is all about our purpose and our creative direction. So here she is for you. She wants you to take on these qualities, this quality of knowing your purpose, of knowing your direction. Unfortunately, because, the feminine aspect of ourself has been repressed for a long time. We just don't want to go inwards. We don't want to feel. We don't want to live from our body. We stay up in our head, which is our ego self, and that's not our real self. Unfortunately, she may be experiencing some, she may be sitting in some depression, and she may be sitting in some anger here. And because, and that could be you. And there have been no other cards other than the shame card come out. But the shame card can be a sign that you're sitting in. You can be sitting in some depression. And behind that depression is shame. Because what you have to realize is depression is actually it's like a block or a cover-up to another emotion. We're blocking our feeling our shame. And so maybe you are feeling some. And so maybe that's what you have to look at. And then you have the Lovers card right after it. And the Lovers card speaks about this. It's a beautiful card of these two individuals, right? And of just being very, very intimate and very passionate and sharing their emotions with each other. It's in reverse here. This isn't a card that I'm going to tell you that there's a lover coming for you. In fact, I will never tell you on this channel that there's a lover coming for you, and I will lose a lot of people because of that, because a lot of tarot readers will tell you there's someone coming for you, which is bullshit, by the way. Because most of us are looking for that one person, right? But I will tell you this about yourself. I'll tell you this, and this is the third time I'm saying it on this channel, is that you have two parts to you. You have two sides. You have a feminine side and you have a masculine side. And here they are right here. And the Lover's card talks about those two sides of you. And those two sides are, we join. This is what this whole Fool's journey is about, is joining our masculine and our feminine side together. Because most of us just live by our masculine. We don't live by the feminine. And so this card, this is really, so what this is saying is, for what's needed for resolution here is for you to get in touch with your feminine side. You need to get in touch with your feminine side here. And right behind it is, you know, this is the Seven of Wands in reverse here. And what's needed for resolution is, in an upright position, the Seven of Wands speaks about an individual that has decided to go on this journey themselves, has decided to go out on your own. And, you know, you are definitely, this whole reading has been about you wanting to go into this certain direction for yourself, whether it's a job, whether, you know, it's something passionate that you want to do for yourself. And this card comes up and says, you know, this can be really lonely. And oftentimes when we take that step out there, you need to realize, and it's in reverse here, so I'm not sure that you are realizing this, and you could be sitting in some loneliness here, but you need to realize there are going to be people that are not going to support you. Because when we do these things for ourselves, whatever it is, even if it's just deciding I'm going on this healing journey, when we do these things for ourselves, we lose people along the way because they just can't come along with us, or they're not going to support us. And I think, you know, you need to realize that. Besides, you know, getting in touch with your feminine side so you can start to feel some of these emotions. And then you get the Six of Pentacles as the last card here in reverse. And the Six of Pentacles, my sixes in my deck talk about this duality aspect to them. And so in this particular card, this looks like, you know, this beggar here, these two beggars, this individual's giving these two beggars what they think they're worth. So one says, I'm worth 3 coins, and he gets 3 coins. So this card is all about the giving and receiving aspect of something. And this is in reverse here. And so it's saying, you know, whatever you think of yourself is what you're going to start to attract in this world. So for instance, you know, here you are on the top here, and you're really, you know, it's in reverse because you need to realize this. But if you think that you're not worth it, and that's what these people here, are going to come out, and you're going to attract these people. But when you start putting yourself first, and you get these people that are gonna, you know, not support you and not validate you, and if you do believe that you're unworthy, because this is a card where we have to examine our worth. And we've already determined here that, you know, your shame is coming up, and that's everything to do with your unworthiness. And that's what this card is saying, you know. This card wants you to look at your worth and how you feel about yourself. And so it really is another, what this is another, you know, request from the universe that's telling you, that's asking you to, you know, you need to really take a deep dive into what you feel about your unworthiness. The pentacle itself talks about our unworthiness. It has everything to do with the body. And so how do you feel? How do you feel unworthy? What is it about you that feels unworthy, that you don't deserve, to be on top of that pedestal and take your life into the direction that you want to? What is it about you? You know, because here you are and you're not wanting to do that. And so let's look at the guidance from the tarot. So you have the Seven of Cups in reverse, and then you have the Two of Swords behind it in reverse. Seven of Cups talks about, in an upright position, these beautiful cups and the beautiful castle. It looks like a dream. You have the rainbow, like it's a dream card. It's absolutely a dream card. And so this card speaks about, we talked about you in the beginning of being distracted, right at the beginning here with this Two of Pentacles here, being distracted. And this card is another distraction card. This is a card that's really focused on their outside world. Someone that's really focused on their outside world and very distracted by what's out there. And we talked about you getting distracted and not wanting to, you know, maybe, you know, like you said, this nudge is coming up for you to do something. And then you get really distracted by what's going on in your outside world. And we can line up so many things for ourselves to keep ourselves distracted. The universe wants to turn that around. The universe wants to say, listen, I see here that you're someone that's really not wanting to look at how distracted you are, but you need to look at that. And then it's like this individual right behind this Two of Swords that has literally put a blindfold on and wants nothing to do with emotions, and that's very much someone that is staying in their head. And that's where we are when we don't want to feel. And so the universe is saying, you know, you gotta really look at that, because you're very much up in your head right now. And we talked about getting, you know, back in your body and getting into that feminine side of you. And here's the Wands, the universe, some more guidance from the tarot here. And you have the Five of Wands here. And you know, this journey, and you know, I do it all the time. I compare myself to other tarot readers. And this is what this is. This is the battle of the egos, where you're going to start to compare yourself to other people and say, well, I can't do that because look at this person doing it. They're better than me. I could never be like that. And then, you know, what I'll do is I'll look at, oh, that person's been on for like 5 years, or they've been doing this for many years, you know, but I'll compare myself to those people. And that's what this card is where our ego can really get in the way. And the ego can really start to compare because we're up in our head. And if we're always up in our head, our ego will keep us spinning like that. And we'll compare ourselves to other people. Like, you can't do this. You can't do that. That's why. See, you can't do that. And then you got this King of Pentacles in. And here's our ego. The king is the ego. And I'm not surprised that it's the King of Pentacles, because we've been talking about the job, Pentacles, this whole time. And this king right here will say to you, well, you know, going into your body and grounding is a bunch of bullshit. This ego here will want to keep you in your head. It is petrified, absolutely petrified of emotions. It does not want you to get into your body. It does not want you to feel, because it's scared. It's so scared. And so there's some real fear here that's coming up, and you have to be aware of that as well. And that will be what prevents you from doing this. So, wow, this is your reading. And so, I mean, I'm seeing here that this is the reading for you, as far as, you know, this is the month that you're going to be stepping out and do what it is you need to do. But you have some things to work on here. And so what I would love to give you is a playlist on shame, for sure, because I think that's really going to help you with understanding what it is. And I would also like to give you a playlist on journaling. And I want you to start to journal. And I'm going to give you a writing prompt at the end of this right now. And I'm going to, you know, a writing prompt for shame would be, you know, I can't do this. I'm not good enough. I'm not allowed to do this. Or who do you think you are is a great writing prompt for shame. Who do you think you are? Like all those messages that you would have heard when you were younger, that's what you write from. And in my playlist on journaling that I'm going to give you, and you'll find it in shame, I think I tell you about journaling in there too. There's going to be some writing prompts for you on shame. Okay, so I'm going to leave that with you, Taurus, and take care. And I want you to know that this is the most difficult journey of your life, but it's the most important one. So I will talk to you mid-month. Take care. Bye.